think it's looking good.
I think so.
Good afternoon, Ash. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming onto the show.
Of course.
It's good to see you again after school and graduation.
It's sad still thinking about graduating only last year.
And how does it feel to finally be like an adult out of the school?
Scary, to be honest. I actually kind of do wish I was back at school at the moment because I had way too many good inspirations back in. Like, I went to 2 different primary schools and 2 different high schools for my lifetime. And to be fair, Bowie helped me a lot through anything. And I love the support I got from all my teachers. And I never got the chance to really thank one of them.
Yeah, on the
True
podcast. What were the main motivations to leave each school?
If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show.
I think for me, my main motivation was like to not give up, because I give up very easily, and I think mainly people saw that on the challenge day we did. And I was struggling a lot on that PT session, and I remember, I think it was either Mr. McKee or Mr. McDonald telling me, don't give up, because I know you can do it. And I kept pushing through, and then for some reason I thought I should keep pushing myself into doing cardio tennis that same night. And then I had a lot of motivation as well from Mr. Plant with our interviews that we did, our mock interviews, because I was scared as, and he gave me the best inspiration to help and motivation to keep it.
And with the mock interviews, did they kind of feel like a real job interview?
It did, which feels weird because I haven't had a job interview since like November of 2023.
Yeah.
So having that was scary, I'd say, because the girl was very intimidating and scary to look at the whole time. So she got me worried a lot. And I think for some reason it was just weirded me out a lot because I was shaking a lot that whole interview. And she could tell because on my feedback I talk way too fast. And that's mainly when I'm nervous. So
Nervous, yeah.
always insane.
I guess, yeah. Do you think that is a bigger part on the interviewer's side to try and make the candidate more calm? Or do you think it's more of a candidate side where they could try to become more calm or present themselves through other ways?
I think it's like the person that does the job interview for me, in my opinion, mainly just because like they're like, oh, you're going to be okay, don't worry, like you'll do great, but like we don't know how I'll go fully.
Also, because you've already had your school holidays, now it's kind of just the real life. Where are you planning to go after this? Or what do you think 2026 looks for you?
At the moment, I'm thinking about finishing this course I'm doing at the moment for childcare, and then probably becoming a primary school teacher by 2022. And then once I've saved up enough money, because I'm doing footy at the same time, I might go travelling with 2 of my friends because we want to go to Vanuatu, Brazil, and I think we wanted to go to Mexico as well. And we both agreed that we want to go over there and teach people English, which is a bit hard for some people. So Vanuatuans mainly only speak that. Like Vanuatuan, I've learned Vanuatuan from them when I went 2 years ago. And then after that, I was thinking, I think it's time to teach them English because it's a beautiful place to visit and I love it there.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I want to do that.
Would there other places you were also keen to visit, or was it more like, I guess, the South American areas because of the natural beauty in it, but also the people's culture?
Well, I had a look around 2 nights ago, actually, and I thought maybe it'd be good to go to maybe South Africa and, like, any African country. I've always wanted to go to South Africa mainly as a kid because I was like, as a kid I loved animals way too much. I think I was obsessed. So I might want to go to South Africa and then maybe like Monaco, like Morocco or something like that in Europe as well.
Where have you travelled so far?
That's a good question. Around Australia or like in general?
In general.
Okay, so I've been to South Australia, so Adelaide.
Yeah.
I've been to Queensland, went to Sydney for the first time 2 years ago. I've been to Tasmania. I've been to New Caledonia back when I was a kid. Been to Vanuatu 3 times now.
Right.
I've been to Norfolk Island.
Mm.
And I've been to Mare, which is like somewhere off the like Pacific.
Yeah. And you were Caledonia. Where was that?
That's like, it's near like the South Pacific. It's like near Vanuatu and that. It's a very beautiful place to live. Visit, especially I'd say Namia at the moment. Looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard of them. Like, maybe I'm just like, I guess, poor on geography.
No,
But
I'm kind of a flag nerd sometimes
right, yeah.
with that.
And with flags,
Oh no.
because I guess we're kind of still a colony of the United Kingdom. If Australia were to become like its own country, what sort of flag design do you think
I
would
would.
have?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. I love that question. I would do like different shades of blue and do like lines across it, and then maybe have the Southern Cross on a duck, like the navy blue side
Yeah.
mainly. But yeah, I like that question.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about it. I'm like, when you take away the United Kingdom emblem, it kind of feels a bit empty. But then I'm
Yeah.
like,
It
yeah.
does kind of give off like New Zealand's flag of it as well.
Mm,
When looking at it,
they look very similar.
oh, they do. It's a bit scary.
Yeah, and I believe the New Zealand one, the star was red or
Yeah, they've got it in, I think, on the top right corner.
yeah. Ash, what were the highlights from your childhood?
That's a great start. I would say my number one would be being with one of my family friends who I have loved for many years. And my whole family and I would go to his restaurant every single day for like a Thursday night, Palmer night, or a Friday night, just to hang out with friends. That was my number one highlight because he was an amazing person. He tragically passed away in 2020. And for some reason, I still do whatever he does. He made everyone happy in that. Another highlight from my childhood was mainly starting like primary school and like meeting new friends.
Yeah.
And having a prep teacher who inspired me to become better as a person, which I still keep to me to this day. And I try my best to be a great person around others and make sure that they feel welcome and not let down.
Yeah.
And then probably my third and final one is probably winning 4 basketball grand finals in different years, which is crazy to believe for someone who did basketball for 11 years of their life and then stopped doing it for good and has now started footy. Crazy to believe that I would do footy.
What kind of pushed you away from basketball towards footy?
I was thinking at the moment it's hard to get along with everyone on a basketball team because there's really 7 to 8 players on a team and you can't really just stick with one group. You can't move around and introduce yourself to other people. You're really just stuck with those 8 and you have to like work as a team mainly. But in footy, I found it so much easier to connect with people. Even though I started off when I was 16, so 2 years ago. I remember I was the youngest in my footy team at the time when I was playing for MCC. And being the youngest in the team was hard, I would say, mainly because it's like everyone's around 20 to early 30s in that group. So it was scary to be around them. And then I think it's time for me to find a new group because I didn't know what to do. I was a shy kid back when I started playing because I didn't know how to play. I didn't know the rules. I joined a day as soon as I got back from outdoor ed camp, which kind of sucked because I did 40 Ks throughout that whole camp for 3 nights. And after that, I think it's time that I should find a different group of girls to play with. Love MCC and all though, because my sister and I got along very well when we played together. But now I joined Morty Alec. Shout out to them. I love Morty at the moment. They've been very thoughtful. And for some reason, they're all around my age, which I actually love. And I can connect with them. They all are so sweet. And all the guys there are very nice as well. Because I met all the guys there on our last training session and a Christmas party we had. Where I purposely accidentally bumped into Mr. Plant. Because he plays for Morty. I think it was just like the groups that you can be with. You can be with different groups. Or you can all stick with a whole group and be a family.
Yeah.
To them. So that's what I loved about footy more than basketball.
And with the restaurant, From your family friend who owned the restaurant, what sort of restaurant was it? What was the name? And what sort of menu did they have?
Well, it was like kind of like a pub type
Oh,
restaurant, which I loved. So it was called 3193. So it was back in the concourse before Turkish restaurant and all those restaurants. I loved going there as a kid. That was my number one favorite thing to do. If I was bored at home, I went, can we go there, Mum? She would say, yeah, why not? Or if I'm going out with friends, we would stop there, get a bowl of chips or like get a drink to share. And then after that, I went, like as a kid in year 7, I wanted to own a restaurant like exactly like his when I was a kid. But then I've realised how much time and effort it does take to get there. So I was thinking, I need to keep trying. And then for some reason, my mind went blank, saying, is this for me or am I doing this just to get distracted? So I was going to do a lot of things like that when I was a kid.
yeah.
393 is still one of my favourite restaurants, even though it's not there anymore. I keep it in my heart.
Did they remove it because the passing of the owner?
No, he got it bought out, I think 2 months before he passed. And then the restaurants have changed ever since. They had a Turkish restaurant there, and then they had a restaurant, like a Mexican restaurant. And then all of a sudden it's now turned, I think, since I last time checked, it was like a Japanese restaurant. And back when I was in my year 12 VM class, well, also year 11, we did like concourse walks. And every time we went through there, I went, is this going to be hard to look through? But it went well because I got my mind off everything, and it was nice because Mr. Plant always got us free chips, and to be honest, he's one of the sweetest guys I've ever met. He's very helpful throughout anything, even though if you didn't understand maths or not.
Yeah. And I guess on the topic of Mr. Plant, what sort of subject was he teaching?
This is funny for me. I still find it funny. He's a numeracy teacher because I picture him when I first met him as a sports teacher, which I get here as well, but seeing him as a maths and science teacher really shocked me when I first met him. It was very interesting though to find that out. I was like, oh, so what other classes do you teach? And I just go, I do best. And at the time, I didn't know what best was because I was in a new environment fully, I would say.
Yeah.
It was my first full year at Bowie because I was at Menton Girls Secondary beforehand, and they just called it science. Even like all the different science classes, they would go chemistry, biology, and physics you had to do like in year 10 to year 11. So I had no clue what they meant by best. So I looked at him and I went, what's best? And he's like, science. And I'm like, you? Science? Kind of confused me. But him as a maths teacher was actually very helpful. I loved him as my maths teacher in 2024. He was always wanting us to try our best, and we all did. We all passed, which was a good sign. Kind of scared that I'm surprised I passed sometimes because it makes me realise I can't go back to school ever again and ask for that same advice.
Yeah.
So it's like sad to be over, but it also does weird me out. But this has happened.
Well, I guess you might see him more often at the footy club. Maybe get some advice there.
Which is going to be funny. Which is nice though. Like, he's very sweet. And anyway, I can't even be calling him Mr. Plant anymore. I'm sorry, Rory.
Yeah.
It's funny.
What were your likes and dislikes of school?
Oh, okay. My likes mainly were, for starters, I would say, like, my likes were mainly starting at a new school. I really loved going from Menton Girls Secondary because it wasn't my type of environment when I was there. And moving there from Bowie because as a kid, I loved co-ed environments. I get along with more guys sometimes than more girls, or girls can be pain sometimes. But for some reason, when I got to Bowie, that was a massive like for me because I got to see my friends from primary school who I haven't seen since 2019 or 2017 even. Because I went to 2 different primary schools, Stella Maris and Beaumaris Primary. So that was a hard part, like not being there when they started in year 7. But it was nice just to get along with all of them, which I loved. And it's nice because I think another light for us was our year level was very divided when we first started year 12. And every teacher could tell that a lot of us couldn't get along. So when we had that year 7 camp on our first or second week back, that really helped us all connect, and we all realised none of us wanted to graduate yet. We were all ready to stay with each other for another year, which is still a good sign. Another like, I would say, was playing for footy for the school and having 2 of the best coaches. Yeah, it was actually really nice. I actually loved playing for the team because I got to do it last year, and it was a very good opportunity because as someone that took a break off footy because she didn't want to get any injuries, and thought, why don't I play for my last year And I was still in shock we got into regionals. It's sad that we lost to Frankston, but Frankston played amazing. Very proud of them. But yes, it shocked me because I've never been into the next round for any like sporting stuff except for like athletics. I was never like a swimming carnival type kid. Like I would do it for fun. I just wouldn't want to get in because I was like, I didn't have to verse people that do life saving or are very competitive, and that was terrifying to do it. So like being there for discus, shot put, javelin, or triple jump. Like I've never done javelin before, so doing that last year was a bit crazy to believe. It was just unique. Like I loved representing that school instead of representing Mentone at the moment when I first started. And as time went on, I started realising I really preferred the school and the formals. And also I loved Year 12 formal. It was probably my favourite formal out of Year 12 or Year 11. I loved it. It's not just because of the food, not because of the full-course meal, but I also loved how everyone got to connect with their like partners that they brought, or they got to connect with someone that they actually didn't know that well. And it was really nice. Like I saw one of my friends I haven't seen since he moved schools in 2017. And it was funny because we were phone calling each other sometimes till like 3 a.m. and I went, I want to go. And he would be calling me back in 2 seconds. So that, and I'd say a dislike was, I don't think there was any dislikes really, I'd say. Maybe, I don't know, like there was a lot of good things that happened at all the different schools that I've been to in my whole life. And I had at least 3 teachers throughout those 3 different schools I was at who inspired me to become better and made me not give up that easily.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was like something bad at all.
Do you see that as a trait that's growing among new teachers or shrinking?
I think it depends on the teacher type. For me, I think it started growing a bit and then it decreased a bit. Year 12 for me, because Year 12 was terrible sometimes. Like you have your final year, you have to work harder on so much things that you didn't think you'd have to work on. But as time went on, I actually enjoyed it. Like it wasn't bad, it was great. But yeah, I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good.
There's like no dislikes.
At some point, did you do a VCE course?
Indeed, I did a lot of VCE courses actually.
Yeah.
So in Year 11, I thought maybe I start with VCE because my brother was a vocational major person as well. So,
Right.
and I've got 2 older sisters. So my other older sisters, they did the whole VCE. And I was like, maybe I'll try like both and see how I go. So for my VCE subjects in Year 11, I did PE, I did theatre studies, I had my 3-4 subject outdoor ed, which was a nightmare. I had English, like just general English, and food studies. I just thought, why don't choose the easiest subjects of my life? Yeah, they're not easy, guys, just note to self. Yeah, so I found VCE okay. I just thought it's not for me. But I think the worst part about when you had to do vocational major was trying to find a course that screams you, because it's hard to find it. And for me, I was with my mum and we were both talking about what screams me. And I said to her, look, I don't want to become a sports teacher yet because I just don't feel like it. So at first, her and I were agreeing like sports and recreation for me. But then I talked to one of my friends about it and he said it's a bit of a nightmare to do. And then I went, maybe allied health. And then for some reason in my head, me and my mum decided, let's just try early childcare. And at the same time, I was new to TAFE last year. I didn't go in Year 11. I had my Wednesdays and Fridays off back then. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed having a break from school.
It's good.
And the only time I had to go was for outdoor ed at the time. But then I dropped outdoor ed 3-4 and moved on to theatre studies. And the annoying part with VCE, when you had that Friday off, was mainly you had to go to that class. So every Friday, I had to go to, instead of my placement in term 1 last year, I went first to theatre studies. And then I went from 11:30 trying to get to a bus or like a train straight to where I was working back then and be there till 4:30 was a struggle. But then as soon as term 1 finished, because it was mainly for our theatre production, Miss Price looks at me and goes, you can work full time now. And I was working there from I had to get to work before 8 a.m. So I was working probably 7:58 to 4:30 in the afternoon with like a good 30-minute break, which was helpful because children can be very chaotic when you look at them, but they're very sweet. Like I loved all the kids that were there. Like they honestly treated me like I was their little, like, older sister if they didn't have one. And they were all sweet in their own unique ways, and they were all well behaved, which, as for me, it's like not in a bad way, but it shocks me because as for me, I have really young cousins who are 5, 6, like 9 and 10 back then, and I looked at them all and I went, the 4-year-olds are more behaved than them, which scared me to believe that because 4-year-olds can be crazy, but they're very sweet. Like, I remember my last day at the workplace because I didn't finish to the week before Christmas, and I remember I was very upset with leaving these children because I was with them from term 1 to term 4, and I didn't want to stop as soon as I graduated high school. I wanted to keep going and go, you know what, this could show I've done a bit of placement, a lot more on my resume. And having to figure out that I had to say bye to them, they didn't feel okay, which was sad. I wanted them to know I will be there for them no matter what, if you guys need. And I found it great because for me, I got surprised a bunch of chocolates, a bunch of very sweet cards that I got received from the children and their parents. And I went, you guys are so great. Like, I've been here for a whole year. And at first, I was not even ready to start. I was shaking. I have never worked with 4 to 3-year-olds or 4 to 5-year-olds in my life. I was like, okay, this is how it starts. And then meeting the parents, getting along with the parents was also a good sign because a lot of the parents already loved me. And then I remember our biggest morning tea event for Beaumont Children's Playhouse for Aussie 12s last year for our VM class. I saw one of the kids there and she goes, can you help me get a gift for my cousin? And I'm like, we can get something for Sam. Let's go. So it was very sweet to connect with all those children in their different ways.
What advice would you have for other early childhood educators on how to connect better with parents and with the kids?
Take your time, I'd say, because some of the parents probably aren't fully used to it. It could be their first child in childcare or like first child going into prep next year. Well, now this year. But yeah, I'd say take your time with them. Don't yell at the children because they can be not feeling okay after. And mainly, I'd say stay safe with them and make sure that you're number one priority when you're at work because it's like the guardian is dropping off their child to school or child to preschool, and they probably are worried every single day hoping that they're safe. So make sure you look after them and look after yourself more.
So you mentioned you were doing a lot of VCE subjects, but then you kind of stopped them. What did you start doing after VCE?
Well, I thought I took a good thing and I started thinking about doing Vocational Major. And I went, I think this might be for me. Finding a pathway that I don't have to go to university for. Because the worst, I think, the hardest part about when you were doing VC is A, the GAT, and B, doing the exams and trying to find an ATAR score for your uni choice. And if it's like a really good school you want to get into or like a good college you want to get into or university, I think mainly that was like my biggest pressure because I wanted to go to ACU when I was little and I always wanted to go still to do a bachelor in like something. But now as a kid, I've looked at it and gone, I can just go vocational major, do a childcare course. And then after that, I can do a diploma and then spend 2 years at uni, which will be honestly helpful for myself in the future.
And you can save money that way as well.
I can go traveling.
Yeah.
It's the number one goal.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think more people will probably benefit if they prioritize travel rather than just work.
Yeah.
So the vet course, that was studied at TAFE as well?
I did 2 places actually. So I first did Homesglen in Moorabbin and for some reason I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't really like the environment. It was a bit of a stressful environment to be around because it's like 30 kids in one class and weird for me because I get very frightened quickly. But at the same time, I went, this isn't my place I should be at. I should be somewhere else. And someone that screamed me. And for some reason, Mum and I had a look one night and said, there's this online course called ITAC, which can do a childcare course. And for some reason, Mum and I started working on it together in October. And then I said, can I wait until after graduation to go? Yeah, I'll sign up for it. So then it hit after the day, like 2 days after graduation. And my mum's just gone, you ready to do it? And I went, sure. I mean, I just finished school, so I should probably start. So now It's going good. I actually think it's so much better than going into TAFE for 2 years and doing a Cert 3 and 4 in childcare. Or just a Cert 3 in childcare. Because for me at the moment, I don't have to spend 2 years to get my actual certificate. I can just do a whole online course that will be 3 assessments normal and then 200 hours while doing 5 other assessments face-to-face at a preschool centre, childcare centre, any of that really. That would be easier.
How do you find managing the study load and prioritizing it, but also progressing through the course online from home when you don't have the accountability of a classroom or set time?
I think I find it better because when you're in a classroom, you have, well, when I was at Bowie, it was like a 75-minute class. And in my opinion, those 75 minutes went very quickly every day. I was like, hang on, we're already in session 4. Like, it didn't feel like that for me at first. And then as time went on, I went, it does feel like it again. But for some reason, I actually, like, enjoyed it more. Being at home, working on it, and just doing it in my own time, listening to my music that I had for studying. And then for some reason, I kept being more motivated to do it. So I've got, like, 2 more assessments left. And then I have to find a placement place, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I started a course but was progressing really slowly from it, like an online one, because I started Cert 3 in fitness.
Yeah.
But then I ended up taking so long, and I'm still on Unit 1
That's all right.
after like 3 months of doing it. And I just kept writing down every single like note in a notebook.
That's what I've done. Like with all the chapters, I've written them down in my docs on Word doc, so I can always look back at them if I get a question wrong, or I think this doesn't sound at all correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe it's just like the way I studied. I feel like I was just taking too long.
People study in different ways. That's like the good part. I always say, like, I study differently to my siblings. Like, I think because me and all my siblings do different things at the moment, so it's like insane. And for me, I was just studying like myself and putting in my headphones and zoning out. Or if I needed help, I'd go ask my mum. And she's honestly been there for me for years. I love her to pieces. So she's been very helpful throughout the course.
Growing up, I know you mentioned the sport and the different clubs like basketball and then moving on to footy. What were all of the extracurriculum activities or hobbies you had growing up?
Okay, so first I would say, well, basketball, because I did 2 different clubs. I was at Bowie Sharks, and then I moved to Pinto Mustangs. And then at that same time, one of my major hobbies back then was I did karate for 3 years.
Yeah.
I only got to yellow belt with black, like 1 stripe, which was okay for me because I didn't really want to try that much.
Yeah.
But my family got into it. All of us did it when we were kids, so me and my siblings and my mother. And another massive hobby of mine, because I've been doing it for probably since I was 4 or 3, I have been colouring a lot.
Yeah.
And I still do it because it calms me down after a long day, or if I've had a really, like, not such a good mood day, I would be in my room putting on music, any music. I'd normally put, like, calming music down and colouring for a good 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And make sure no one bothers me.
Yeah. And with the music, what sort of music choices or artists or albums do you choose?
For studying at the moment, I am a Novo Amor person who's a European folk singer who I love. I have loved his music for 7 years now, which is crazy to believe that, because I've only heard it. I only started hearing it after a movie I watched, and after that, I then started getting into rock music, and for some reason, I am now back into listening to Whitesnake, Motley Crue, and at the moment, mainly Harry Styles. Again, it's a guilty pleasure because I'm just excited for his new album. But yeah, I just listen to, at the moment, just rock music any day of the week.
Yeah.
It makes me relaxed and, like, not stressed for one day, which is nice.
For other students who are contemplating starting VCVM, what sort of advice would you give to them on making that big decision to switch courses?
I would say it's up to you. I'd say take your time with it. Take a good week, or go to a place where you feel comfortable, where no one else would think you would like to go to, and have a think there and go, am I in the mood to do VC? And do I want to get into a good university, college, whatever it's called for any country or any place? Is this a good idea for me? Or do you want to go, I think it's time for me to do vocational major. That way I don't have to go to uni, I don't have to stress out about exams, and really, you don't really need to stress out that much. So the worst thing about me was I was a very overwhelmed person last year. And 2 teachers mainly saw that in me, and I found it really bad because I was like, I'm not stressed out, don't worry. But on the inside, I could tell that they knew there was something going on. So I would say talk to your teachers as well, see what you think will help you, or if you have like coordinators or head of houses, talk to them as well for good, or your goal mentor if you're at Bowie, or just talk to like a teacher that you trust. So I would say that's my biggest tip.
What was your first job?
Okay, my first job was working at McDonald's in Chelt. Did not really enjoy it. I worked with a bunch of people though from Bowie, which was nice. So I worked with Quinn Sadler and Logan back then. And for some reason, and back then me and my brother were working together. I know yourself, working with your sibling can sometimes be a nightmare. So for me, I was always helping out other people. But for some reason, I started enjoying the job, and then I didn't, and then I loved it again. But then for some reason, near the end of me saying I'm going to leave, I realised it wasn't a good job to start off with. Like, it gives you a lot of experience, yes, and gives you, like, the time to, like, focus and not get scared. But at the same time, I actually enjoyed it. Like, it was okay.
Right, yeah.
Like, I met new friends. I don't really talk to them, though, but the managers were great there. That's the best part, I think.
And I guess it builds character and a better understanding and respect for people in the workforce.
Indeed, and it was hard because it's out of, like, the worst part with working there is mainly, like, they don't tell you when you have your shifts. Like, your shift will be cut. So I got to my shift. I had a 10 to 4 shift once after working a 4 to 11 the day before. I had no message on the Facebook group, no call and that, and they asked me to go home as soon as I got there at 9:55, like 5 minutes before my shift starts, which, to be fair, it's actually bad if you do that, because then you should give like a good 4-hour notice.
Definitely.
Because then you've already dressed, you're going into work, and they're telling you you can't come in. They've done that. They did that a lot to a lot of people out there, and it just was not fun.
Did they ever try using a messenger group chat for shift covers?
Well, we did a Facebook group chat. I remember that. And they'd be like, someone cover this, and as soon as you had it covered, you were fine. But then it's a risk of like not getting that many shifts after. Like, I remember I was like probably taking out a lot of shifts because I had to babysit my little cousins. And it was bad because I was like, okay, I might get no shifts next week. Or I'll get a good 4 to 11 for 4 days straight. And that was the one thing I didn't like, working 4 to 11. Especially when it was a Thursday night. I was working 4 to 11 on my first full shift, being at Macca's without any like training in that. And being on fries for that whole night. And Thursday nights, Friday nights and Saturday nights, we can all agree, are the busiest nights for Macca's. So working there at the exact same time as that was very hard for me to handle. It gave me a lot of stress because it's like you had to get 15 small fries up, 15 medium fries, 30 large fries for people. So the stress was hard when working there.
And I guess when it gets that late in the night, you might get some interesting characters showing up.
Especially when you like have to go to school the next morning. And I remember putting down, I only can work 4 till 9 on weekdays unless it's school holidays.
Yeah.
So that was like the worst part because then I had to get up at 6, walk to school, and I looked so tired. I couldn't even focus.
Yeah, and sleep's everything.
And it was bad with my first class in the morning being my Unit 1-2 class. And for me, when I was in Year 10, like doing outdoor ed and then doing that was actually scary.
I have some mates that work in fast food, they still do. And they do a lot of like overnight shifts, like 12 and then sometimes finishing at 3 a.m. or 4.
It's so insane.
Yeah.
It also annoys me because it's like you want to have a decent night's sleep. But then you have that thought of going, now I have to order out of an Uber, or your parents have to come a whole long way, or you have to drive all the way home after working for a good 9 hours, for example,
Yeah.
which is hard for them because they want to have a good night's sleep before starting work the next morning.
Or you might even have to take public transport.
Indeed, and public transport at that time of night is a bit
Yeah.
scary.
Or walking home.
Oh, can't imagine that.
How did it feel on graduation day? And what are the biggest things that you miss about it?
I think for me, my biggest thing was I was feeling way too sad. I thought I wasn't going to cry throughout that whole graduation, like that whole day. I mean, the first thing I did was pop on my school dress, and I realised this is going to be the last time I'm wearing this for the rest of my life. And it's very sad for me because I didn't think I would have to move schools. I wanted to for a good probably 2 years. So back when I was in year 9, I was getting bullied a lot more than I did in year 10 at Mentone. And for some reason, I went to my mum and I'm like, I want to move schools right here, right now. And I want to go where my brother is. And that way, him and I can stay together. And for some reason, I was scared. So after moving schools and being at Bowie for not even 3 years fully, it was like 2.5. That really hurt because I wish I was there from year 7. And wearing that uniform really made me feel like I belonged there. And I remember graduation, I remember wishing one of my mates good luck for their speech. And I remember them going, "You're going to cry on my speech." I'm like, no, I'm not. I would never cry. Like, I was ready to be okay for that whole day. So even though I did a TikTok in the first thing in the morning, I tried so hard not to cry on that, failed on that. I cried for a good 20 minutes before leaving for school. Straight after that, I went into, mainly had our breakfast with our families. That's when I got that chat. I started crying then. After that, I ended up crying again on the speech that my mate did. And I was like the only one that cried. It was very sweet. And then our graduation video, because I realised that one of my favourite teachers wasn't there at all. Like, he wasn't feeling well, which was sad. And that broke my heart because at least he was in our graduation video. That was the best part, I think, for me. For some reason, he has inspired me still to become a better person to this day. And it was sad that he wasn't there on our graduation night or our graduation day, like our ceremony. With graduating as well, like getting ready to go sit at the MCC area for dinner. It was nice. I think I cried about 4 more times. I cried on the stage getting my award from Miss Ford. Love Miss Ford, by the way, and my certificates and that. Mr. Bourbon's speech, Warwick Sassman's speech, so Santiago's dad. He did a beautiful speech. Our school captain's speeches, so Val and Lily, they did an amazing job. And then the teachers surprised us with their own video for us. And that really got to me a lot. So that whole graduation video and memories all were really sad. And I still don't like how I've only just graduated. I would do anything to go back to school right now.
Yeah. I guess you missed the chance to fail school, to repeat it.
I so should have done that. No. It's weird because I'm relieved I'm done. But now when you think about it, everyone's starting back to school next week or the week after. And you get that feeling going, oh, so I don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. anymore. I don't have to get into my school uniform. I don't have to take a bus or a train to school. I can just chill at home and do nothing, which kind of sucks for me at the moment. I'd rather get up, get dressed, school uniform, go to school and see teachers in the mornings and then study for a good 30 minutes in the morning before period 1.
And even when you start doing the VCVM, you still kind of start to miss it more because you're only there 3 days a week while everyone else is there like 2 extra days.
Yeah. I found it hard. I kind of got a bit jealous because I didn't want to go to TAFE on Wednesdays. I would rather want to stay at school and skip TAFE and then go do something else.
And then I'm starting to find another sense of community similar to school, but like in a workplace, which is kind of interesting because I started working leisure centre, lifeguarding, and then you get to meet all the different people, different uniforms, people in the fitness team, lifeguarding team. And you start to build like bonds with them, friendships, and some new people join, old people leave. It kind of has a similar vibe as school.
Yeah, especially when you're like friends with like some of the people from the younger year levels, I'd say. Like some of the younger year levels, they're so lovely to be around. Like the year 11 / last year, your year level, were so nice that whole time when we were in year 12. Same with like all the year 7s looked up to all the people that were in the school production. They looked up to different people in the group. Like, I think I had 8 of the girls look up to me when we did that school production, and they were like, I don't want you to go. And I'm like, yeah, I can't even speak. I was like, I guess I have to go purchase myself a ticket for the productions and go out with friends and make sure that we at least bump into someone. But at the moment, the only person I've bumped into recently is Mr. Pinto, which, by the way, Pinto, if you're seeing this, you owe me donuts still. Cinnamon donuts, please.
When did he owe you that?
He owed me that in our divisionals in athletics, districts last year when you and I went for javelin. And he said to me, if you hit this javelin into the grass, like the sharp part, I'll get you a dozen donuts. I haven't got them yet, Pinto, and Plant knows about it, so Plant, let him know for me.
Yeah.
So I see Pinto everywhere because he's around Morty as well sometimes. So it's like I went out, I think, with one of my best mates 2 months ago or something. And I remember first thing I saw was like Pinto. And he goes, hey, mate. And I'm like, hi, what are you doing here? He goes, going out. I'm like, same. Because now since moving to Morty, it's like insane.
If you had all the money in the world, what would you spend it on?
Well, if I had a whole lot of money, I'd first split it off and give a lot to charity because I love raising money for anything. Like, for me at the moment, I honestly would want to do a whole thing and raise it and give it to, like, people in need or, like, people who want it. Like, mainly for me, I would say the Royal Children's Hospital for the Good Friday Field. I would give it to them, especially because when I was a kid, I went there for a broken elbow. And I went there when I was 3 and I honestly loved it there. And they had things that would make you smile when you were very injured. So I broke my arm when I was 3 from a trampoline incident with me and my siblings. And I've still got the scar, which sucks.
Yeah.
And I remember the one thing that they got me hooked onto was the meerkats there. And ever since then, meerkats were my favourite animal. And I loved it to pieces. And I would wave at them with my broken arm like this, like trying to wave to them.
Like actual meerkats.
Yeah, it was really cute. I loved it. And then I remember always going there for like x-rays because my cast was always breaking, so they had to redo it again. And while we were waiting, I was always waving at the meerkats. And it was really cute. So I would give a lot of it to the Good Friday Appeal for Royal Children's Hospital especially. And then some to Cancer Council as well, mainly because it's hard to see someone that you loved a lot have cancer or someone that you who was like very there for you do that. And then I'd say at the moment with all the bushfires happening, I'd say give it to the bushfires because they, like anyone that lost their home, so they can rebuild one further away from the bushes now. But and some mainly to the firefighters, I'd say, because they are doing a fabulous job keeping us all safe, and it feels weird. But yeah, I'd do all my money. If I had so much money right now, I'd give it to charity no matter what.
And I guess it's unfortunate firefighters aren't receiving as much support from the government.
They don't. It's mainly like police officers at the moment or ambos. Like ambulance, amazing people. Same with police. But firefighters, I feel like also need that appreciation because they have done so much to support us and keeping us safe. Like, I remember I went to Ballarat recently, like I think last weekend or the weekend before, and that was like the hottest week we ever had with like the 43 degrees, 42 degree week. And I remember the other side of the lake that I was around, there was smoke coming from it. And there was another bushfire around there. And I remember my cousin being so worried that it was going to affect us. And I went, you're okay, because you're going to be fine. It's not on our side. We'll stay safe. We're going to be okay. What we need to be careful about is making sure we're all together. And if it gets worse, we all go back. So I'd say firefighters should get appreciated a lot more.
And I don't like how Victoria, the government, has been like cutting funds to it and more funding the projects for the metro tunnel and stuff.
I don't like that at all. Like, a firefighter should get a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Especially for starters, they're putting their lives at risk. Like, they probably have maybe children or a wife or a family even. Like, they have a whole family and they're giving us they're giving their own life to save ours, which is very hard for them. And the metro stuff is annoying me at the moment because with all the new, like, train lines coming in and new, like, anything, we don't really need that. You could just do 2 levels and leave it because it's annoying me at the moment. And so I'm thinking from now on, we all need to sort out that we all want to stay safe in our community.
Yeah. Definitely.
And the only way to do that mainly is to make sure no one else gets affected by the bushfires, because it's going to be a hot weekend this weekend. It's going to be like 39 to 35 degrees this weekend. I don't want anything like this to happen ever again. And plus, we haven't had major bushfires since like really 2019,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
the thing.
crazy to believe that. It's been a good, like, we had to wait a good 7 years until that happened again.
And then like the sun was also like bright red as well when there were
Yeah.
the fires.
That was insane to handle.
I still don't quite know why it goes red during the fires. It might have something to do with the smoke in the atmosphere,
I feel
but
like it is true. I don't know for sure, but I want to look into it. Maybe.
it's kind of ominous looking, just red and smoky. I like to finish my podcast with the Marcel Proust Questionnaire by Marcel Proust. Shall we begin?
Shall we?
What is your idea of perfect happiness?
Probably, that's a really good question. Probably anyone who gives you a really nice compliment a day. Like I like giving out compliments to people, or they give compliments to anyone, and it warms my heart. I guess that's like the perfect happiness, to have someone brighten your day when you've not really been feeling great.
Yeah. What is your greatest fear?
I have a lot. One of my greatest fears probably is, this is really funny according to one of my friends, but birds.
Birds.
I am scared of every single bird. I remember school camp last year when we went for year 12 camp, there were ducks, and Ben McCullough knew I was like really scared of ducks, and he told Charlie Jobling and Hardy Yongin, because they were in my group for an activity, and they screamed out, "Ash, there's ducks for you!" And I went, "Oh, nah, I'm not going around this area. I'm never going back here." Like, that's it. I can't handle birds. I don't like ducks. I don't like seagulls, swans, geese, any of that. And then also killer clowns, and like probably scared of, another number one is being scared to be all alone. Like I find it weird, but like being abducted as well. That would be my number one phobia by far, because I just never want it to happen to me or to anyone I loved.
Yeah. With birds, it kind of makes sense, especially with ones that like swoop, like magpies, if you have a lot of experiences of that. Or with with seagulls, when they're like trying to steal your food and like they get angry and they start pecking and shouting at you.
They always get angry. Like, I remember back at Bowen Morris Primary when I was there, we had a swooping bird back, I think 2017, 2018. And I remember anytime you got an award, the bird would just swoop you. And it was really annoying, because it was like underneath one tree at that school, and it would swoop you every 2 seconds, even if you're having lunch. So that was like, we called it the swooping bird, and I never liked birds, like for ages. Like, I didn't even like cassowaries. Like, cassowaries are terrifying to even look at, I'd say.
What is the trait you most deplore in yourself?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Good question, though.
What is the trait you most deplore in others?
Any of them, like, looking out.
Yeah.
Like, keeping things, maybe. Like, if it's something that they've been hiding from you and it's probably about you, that's a hard thing to handle.
Which living person do you most admire?
At the moment, I'd say I've got 2 people in mind, like for famous people, because as a kid, I wanted to be also an actress. So probably like, at the moment, I'd say Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi or Millie Bobby Brown. She has inspired me a lot when I was little, because as a kid, I grew up with like loving her in like different films or different shows at the moment. Like, it's weird enough, but for the first time I'm watching Stranger Things, so I'm like, she's very inspirational in that, and she has like very strong of a person. And then another person that inspires me is probably my mum and my sister as well. They've inspired me to become better versions of myself, and if I have a really long day, I'd say maybe it's time I talk to them. So it's nice to have them be there for me.
What is your current state of mind?
At the moment, my current state is contemplating life choices at the moment. Like, I've been contemplating about like mainly my new music, because I used to write songs, and I was contemplating about, and still have been contemplating about it, about producing them. And I wrote them 2 years ago now. I had like 14 songs I wrote. Never showed them to anyone except for, I think, Ariane and like Charlie Armistead back then. And I would show them to them and go, what do we think? Is this going to be good enough? But then for some reason, I was so scared to produce it that instead I decided to just have a singing account on TikTok, because no one knew I could sing. And then I gave it a shot. And then I stopped doing it. But now I'm contemplating about going back to it.
Yeah. What do you consider the most overrated virtue?
Probably people trying too hard to change. Like, you can be yourself, but just don't compare yourself to others, I'd say, mainly. Because a lot of people compare themselves going, I love this too, but they actually probably don't. So, like, stop comparing yourself to others is my number one.
And I guess that's also like the herd mentality, like doing what everyone else is.
Yeah, do, like, whatever everyone else wants you to do and not another way around.
On what occasion do you lie?
When I tell some of my mates that I'm really good at footy, when I'm okay at it, but I'm not amazing. Like, a lot of my friends look at me going, you look like you're a phenomenal footy player. And I'm like, no. Like, I would say I'm in the middle at the moment. Like, I'm okay, but after not playing for a good year last year and then getting back into it, like, November, October last year, I realised I've not been that good again. Like, I need to get better. So I'm probably saying that I'm really good at footy.
Yeah.
And then probably always cancelling plans last minute because I had something on, but really it was just me wanting a solo date for myself and take me out somewhere. Like, I normally do a solo day with myself and take myself out to get out of a salad or fruit cup or just anything.
That reminds me of that one song, Bought Myself Flowers.
Oh, Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
What do you most dislike about your appearance?
Probably how I am with certain people. I can be a very stubborn person. And that's a massive fun fact about me. I can be very stubborn around others. And others don't see that. But I'm been very stubborn for ages. Like, I don't think I've ever said to someone, like, felt like a happy tone. Or, like, I'm very sarcastic. So sarcastic and stubborn are my major things with me.
Which living person do you most despise?
That's I can't even say his name, but we all know, maybe we might know who. But, yeah, I despise him because he just doesn't understand anything I'm going through. Like, people look at you and they go, oh, you're so great. Like, but then they look at you and they don't see, like, the other side of you. Because you have two sides of you, I'd say. So for some people, it can be, like, a happy, always joyful, always fun to be around. And then in your head, it's like you want them to go away or you're not feeling great. Like, for me, a person that I despise, like, looking up to, that's alive as well, I would say, I have like two and I can't say both of their names, but like, I despise both of them, like, with all my heart. They really both affected my social life, I think, which sucked.
What is the quality you most like in a man?
I like when they're honest and straightforward, because for me, you want to have trust in a relationship as well, or like as a friend. And for me and my mate, we always need to tell each other something. Like, if I had a really, really unstable day and a bad day, they knew what to do.
Yeah.
So having that was very helpful. So I'd say honest, caring, trustworthy. I love an overprotective guy who's protecting me if I have something bad going on. And they're there, like, in 2 seconds.
What is the quality you most like in a woman?
I love how, well, I've got, like, 2 of my three of my closest friends in the whole world. And sometimes 4. But, like, 4 of my closest mates, like, my friend AJ, my friend Aaliyah, my friend Bailey, and my friend Lily. I love how we're all outgoing in different ways. And I love always catching up with one another. But I love how they're caring, helping me out with, if I had one thing that was going wrong in my household, I would call them up and they would be free to help me out and get me out of the home, which I loved because it really helped. Or I just love how they understand what I'm going through and that they can help give me advice in that.
Which words or phrases do you most overuse?
Okay, I always say oh my God a lot, which is weird. I would be like, oh God, or like, oh my God, like there's something going on. Or I just go, seriously. Like, I always have my eyebrows raised whenever I say the word seriously to, like, a crazy thing that happened. I'll be like, are you serious? Or like, seriously, mate? Like, you did that. I think it's seriously and oh my God mainly. Or that's just insane to me. Like, mainly those 3, I'd say. Yeah. They're my go-tos.
What or who is the greatest love of your life?
I love having time with my mum.
Yeah.
She's like Lorelai Gilmore. Like, she is an honest, caring, lovable person to be around. She loves her coffee. Yeah, my mum probably is my best friend in the whole world, and I love her to pieces. And then for some reason, like, one celebrity that honestly, it always takes my breath away. So, yeah, but mainly my mum and probably my 4 best mates, Bailey and Ella and Aaliyah and Angelina. I love them all to pieces, so.
When and where were you happiest?
I was happiest. Well, I've been happiest a lot, but I think my number one was, I remember, I think I had a really bad day on a Saturday. I don't know why I was upset, but I remember Mum and I went to 3193 and my older sisters. And I remember, like, my family friend knowing that I was not feeling great about myself. And he never lets any of his customers or, like, anyone go into his kitchen. And for what he did, he cheered me up and he taught me how to make his chicken parmas. And he has had the secret recipe for years, and they are the best chicken parmas ever. So he gave me that secret recipe. He taught me how to bake potato cakes and fries. And through that day, that was the happiest moment of my life, because then I started cheering up. And then after that, he knew I wasn't feeling still 100%. So he gave me $50 to spend anywhere in the concourse. So I went to a lolly shop, because as a kid, everyone loved going to lolly shops. There was like nothing wrong with going there. There was always one fun thing you got to do there. So I went there and I spent a good $20 for myself and I gave the rest to him. And he looked at me going, "Now, why'd you not use all of it?" And I went, "I didn't want to. You deserve the rest." And instead he went, "No, you keep it." And then another happiest moment for me was back in 2019, I did rock and roll dancing, which was very interesting back when I was a kid. And I remember all my siblings and all my friends had partners to go with for the dance, and my family friend asked me to dance with him, and I was very happy with it, because it was like no one would say yes. Like no one would offer back then I was 10, so like a 10, 11-year-old kid doing rock and roll dancing and dance with them. But they actually helped. Like I still cherish his memories still with me, and I never want to get rid of them.
Which talents would you most like to have?
There's a lot. I really wish I could be really good at gymnastics, like doing front flips, back handsprings, front handsprings, and land them actually. But like I wish I was really good at anything with trampoline. And I also wish I was really, and I mean like really good at like acting and that, because I wanted to become an actress for so long. And I feel like acting for me would be amazing. So I wish I was good at acting and trampoline stuff.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Probably to be less stubborn. As I said before, I'm way too stubborn to be around. And sometimes I'll be very cranky for a good week. And it's like, I just can't help it sometimes. Or like try and express myself out more. Like I keep things a lot to myself. But then I feel like from now on, I need to start producing it and actually being more myself.
What do you consider your most greatest achievement?
Probably, besides graduating year 12, I'd say, which is still the massive shock factor for me, I'd say playing footy for the first time and scoring my first ever goal in my 3rd week in, and my sister and I having the funniest conversation after, going, "It took me 3 months to get a goal. How did it take you, 3 weeks?" And I'm like, "I am a forward liner, you're the back liner, so that could be it." But also, I don't know how I got it in. It was a very shocking thing to experience. But at the same time, I'd say that's a massive achievement, and probably my second last basketball grand final I ever won, because I had my mum, all my siblings there, my family friend there before he passed, and my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, everyone besides like my father that was there. I loved having them all there. They were my biggest supporters. So having those 50 or 60 of them all at my basketball grand final and we won it, felt really great to achieve.
If you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would it be?
For a person, I would love to be like a detective of some sort, so I could sort out like murder mysteries and that. But as a thing, I would want to be probably a flower.
Yeah.
Like a nice, because my favourite flowers are lilacs or orchids, so probably one of those, if it was a thing.
Where would you most like to live?
Okay, as a kid, it was funny. I wanted to live in the United States, because I feel like everyone wanted to do that, because they wanted to be like a Hollywood actress or something. But for me, yeah, I wanted to be in Hollywood, being in a famous movie. Like back when I was probably 14, 15, I wanted to be a famous actress and be like how do people at like 13 to 15 get major roles like this? And for me, I'm a kid at primary school or high school, can't even do that yet. But back then, I wanted to move there. But currently, I really want to move to Vanuatu and live there for a good 2 to 3 years.
And why was that?
Mainly because I've seen how beautiful the place is and how lovely everyone is there and how they're all outgoing, they're not shy, they're sweet in their own unique ways and they support others.
Yeah.
And they have a great community.
What is your most treasured possession?
This might sound weird. I do have this, I've had this teddy bear of mine that I've had since my family friend gave it to me on my birthday years ago. And I have kept it just because it reminds me of him and he was a great person to be around. And when he passed away in 2020, I have said to myself, I'm going to keep this and I'm going to give it to my children and my children are going to give it to their children. And it's going to be a generation thing. Because this thing means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So that's my most prized possession. That.
What do you regard as the lowest depth of misery?
Probably not trying that much because I normally give up easily and a lot of my siblings can tell I give up easily. Especially my older sister, like Rest, like she can see when I give up easily and she's like, no, but you're trying again. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like I can't keep trying and trying until I get there. I know it's not going to work one day.
What is your favorite occupation?
A flight attendant. I feel like they have a really cool job with traveling anywhere they want, really, on whatever flight they go on, and they can stay for 4 days or 3 weeks, or just in general, just like stay there for a full day. I feel like they have a cool job. And maybe actress and actors, because growing up, when you look back at yourself, if you were on that stream, like for example, people in Stranger Things, it's weird that I'm bringing that up as someone that really never wanted to watch it. But for me, when I looked at it, and then if you look at the actor who had this perspective, you can see the differences that they had, which was very unique, I'd say.
What is your most marked characteristic?
A lot of people ask me that question. Probably how I am, like when I first meet someone, really. I would be either stubborn or I'm just normal. Sometimes it's very stubborn. Probably like meeting new people.
Yeah.
Is a massive one.
What do you most value in your friends?
Their loyalty towards me. Like if they will be completely honest with me, and I loved that. I loved having honest friends for years, and having them be loyal towards me as well was great.
Yeah.
So they've been there for me throughout everything that happened for a good 6 years of my life that I've had since 2020. So probably that, and I love how trustworthy and outgoing they are with me, and they can easily talk to me about something that they've got on their mind.
Who are your favourite writers?
For authors at the moment, I love Delilah Owens for Where the Crawdads Sing. I really love that book. That book is still one of my favourite books to this day. I also love the Penguin books. I really need to start reading them again. I haven't read them in ages. And then I'd say Jackie French as well for a writer. I love what she does. And then same with like producers, and a lot of producers and like screenwriters are talented.
Yeah.
I'd say, in their own unique ways.
Who is your hero of fiction?
I would say my biggest hero for fiction, out of like Enola Holmes, like from the movies, like Millie Bonnie Bon Jovi or Millie Bobby Brown's character in that. Or lately, it's been like one of my, probably like Black Widow or something.
Which historical figure do you most identify with?
For some reason, I'm like leaning towards like Anne Frank a bit, like, because having that like lifestyle, or I can't remember their name, but they made like 100 paper cranes or something like that. But I remember I would like relate to that a bit, like, because I would like love to be like myself a bit.
Who are your heroes in real life?
My parent, my mum mainly. I love her. She's like my massive hero. For me, my siblings, they are like amazing people. My siblings are. Honestly love them to pieces. My friends as well. And they're like my biggest support if I've had a rough day. And then probably just a random celebrity.
What are your favourite names?
I love the name Stu because of my family friend. I've said to myself, if I ever have a baby boy, that's the name. I don't care what anyone says. Not even, my husband is not going to debate with that. I love the name Stu. I love the name Delilah a lot. I love the name Elsie or Elise as well. And I really love the name like Angel or like Teresa.
What is it that you most dislike?
People scaring me. I have this, it's weird because as a kid, I used to have like really good reflexes back when I did karate. And whenever someone tried scaring me, I would do that. And it's bad because it could either lead to them being injured or I actually will just scream at them. Because I hate being scared in general. Like, being scared is like my number one thing. Because it's more scary when someone comes up behind you and scares you. Because it could be someone you don't know or someone trying to find you and like maybe like abduct you or something. So that is my biggest dislike.
What is your greatest regrets?
Probably not doing vocational major earlier because I really enjoyed it, but also not like I'm not going to move schools yet until year 10 or like when I'm ready or like when I was in primary school. I was probably thinking about moving schools the exact same time I moved from Pinto to Bowie. So I moved from Stella Maris at the start to Bowie Primary from term 3, and I wish I did that for Bowie, but started way earlier because I started like week 7 or 8 at Bowie in term 3. So I really spent one full term there. So probably having moving schools a little. Like I should have done it earlier.
How would you like to die?
Love that. I would love, this sounds weird, but it's out of like skydiving gone wrong. I don't know why. But I don't want to get stabbed. That's my one thing. I don't want to get stabbed. I don't want to get like kidnapped and that for my last one. I think and the skydiving wrong, or maybe just like cliff jumping. I don't know why.
It might be nice when you get a bit older as well,
Yeah.
rather than in your youth doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I'd wait until I'm like in my 20s, 30s to do that.
Well, thank you, Ash.
Thank you,
Appreciate your
bye.
time. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too.